Another thing. So, when you're talking to people and you're learning different communication styles, wait, let me slow down because I'm not really in a rush and I want y'all to really get this shit, right? So, when you're talking to people and you're trying to identify different communication styles, one thing that'll help you identify an individual's communication style, it may not be the sole dictator, but it is a primary indicator, is their personality style. So I'm gonna take a few minutes and I'm gonna break down the 4 personality styles, and I'm gonna try to connect it to like an analogy that everybody can understand, whether you're, you know what I'm saying, a little kid or a grown adult. I'm gonna keep it clean. I ain't gonna cuss so much. This ain't one of them videos, right? But when it comes to communicating at a high level, right, communication mastery, you have to realize that people learn in certain ways. Some people are visual learners. Some people are story, analogy, parable learners. Some people learn better by experience. Some people can just read some. Know how it looks, know how it feels, right? So that's fair to understand. But that's a learning style, right? And we're talking about identifying or how to leverage an individual's communication style to make sure that the message you're conveying successfully lands, right? So we're trying to communication mastery. We know that there's different learning styles, but what we need to identify right now is different personality styles, because this will help you also identify the learning style. Now, mind you, you can always ask a person, what is your learning style? And typically people can tell you that. They can also tell you their personality from their perspective. But the best way to identify a personality style is to ask somebody what drives them, what motivates them. Ask them what their why is. Start with this question. If time and money wasn't an issue for you, you can go where you want, when you want, do what you want, how you want, with whoever you want, and come back whenever you want it, or not. If that was your life, what would your next Thursday look like? What would tomorrow, what would your tomorrow look like for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, if we living in that moment right now, that's your life. What's tomorrow look like for you? Where you at? What you got planned? What you got going on? How you living? What we doing? We outside or what? You hear me? So, but if you can start with that question, most people can identify an answer to that pretty quickly. Even if it's off the top of their head, they'll give you some wild shit. And the wilder, the better. Wild dreams do big things, right? Wild dreams motivate people. They set people on fire. They keep people going through and over obstacles and resistance. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter, right? When your why is big enough, the hows don't matter. The rainy days don't matter, right? Because you know the rain is going away and the sun will come back again. You feel me? So this too shall pass, right? But when somebody has a big enough why, the hows don't matter, right? So you want to identify what they want to do. What would your life look like? What would your ideal desired life look like if you could create it, right? If you had it already, how would you be living, right? Now here's the rub. Here's the hard conversation part of the conversation. Why you not living like that now? Why you not driving what you want to be driving? Why you not living where you want to be living? Why your kids don't go to the school they want to go to? Why the last time you took a vacation was a year ago, 2 years, 3 years ago? Why you can't remember the last time you took a vacation? Why the last time you took a vacation you were staying in a motel instead of a 5-star hotel? Why the last time you took a vacation you drove across the country from coast to coast and you told yourself you just wanted to see the country, and realistically you just didn't have the money to fly? So then you spent all your time driving across the country, had to stay in a hotel or motel for a day or two just to barely touch the cold Pacific, just to get back in your car, have to drive all the way back across the country to go back to work. Why? Is that really a vacation? Why you living like that? Why you been working at the same place 2, 3, 5 years and you don't have nothing to show for it? Why you don't have $200, $300, $500 saved up? Now, really, that's a personal problem. That's not an institutional problem. That's not the job's problem, because the job gives you the money and you just been a bad steward of it. But why? Why you don't know what you don't know? Why you still there? Matter of fact, here's another question. When you started your job that you say you love so much because you don't really do much, you know what I'm saying? They pay me well to sit around and I be on the phone or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching their merchandise. It's not my merchandise. All I got to do is hit the button and open up the gate. I'm cool. I'm good. It's player. It's cool over here. It's cooler, bro. I get paid for doing nothing, but you got to be there, huh? So is you really doing nothing, or is you wasting your time? Well, maybe let's not say you wasting your time, but is you really doing nothing, or is you selling your time for less than what it's really and actually worth? Because it's easier. It's comfortable. Now, this ain't part of the conversation, but no growth happens in a comfortable space. You're going to have to get uncomfortable to grow. And if you're comfortable where you at, don't stay there. But if you're not comfortable where you're at, stands the reason you might need to grow, which means you're going to have to get more uncomfortable to get to where you want to be. Because when a seed is breaking ground, when bamboo is growing down for years and years and years and years and years before it ever breaks ground and grows 6 inches in 3 months, 6 feet in, you know what I'm saying, 9 months, all that growing down time, that's resistance. That's an obstacle. That's rough. That's uncomfortable. But you're uncomfortable now. Choose your heart, fam. You're going to stay uncomfortable for the next 20, 30, 40 years and then be uncomfortable when you retire for the next 10, and it's probably only going to be 10, because once you retire on 40% of your income, you're not going to be living the life you were living when you were making the money you were making. And now you really don't have a plan or a goal or a direction to travel in that keeps your body, you know what I'm saying, mobile. So now you live in a sedentary lifestyle. Now your muscles atrophy. Now your brain atrophies. Now you get Alzheimer's or or diabetes of the brain, because you're not moving your muscles, you're not moving your blood, the sugar stays in your blood, and it's diabetes of the brain, which they call Alzheimer's, because they don't want to tell you what it really is. Maybe this ain't all the way for children no more. But so you retire after they've stolen 40 years of your life. Maybe you earn 40% of what you were earning when you were working. You're getting taxed anywhere 40 to 80% of those disbursements in Social Security. Your retirement is tied to the market, which is cyclical. And at any given point in time, like a couple weeks ago, $2.3 trillion disappeared out of the market in 24 hours. And I just want to inform you, that was not money disappearing. Money is frequency. Frequency and energy does not get created or destroyed. It just transfers hands or transmutes form. That money went somewhere. But let me tell you where it came from. It came out of your retirement. It came out of your mother's retirement. It came out of your grandmother's retirement. It came out of your father's and your grandfather's retirement. It came out of that old man's retirement that's standing in front of Walmart right now, checking your receipt that you walk by in disrespect because the position he holds in his life is really not necessary. It's not even that it's beneath you for real. We just look at the old man like, old man just here because he's bored at home and he ain't got nothing else to do. No, the truth is the old man did what society told him to do for the last 40, 50, 60 years. And in 2008, when the market crashed, in 2012, when the market crashed, in 2020, when the market crashed, in 2022, when the market crashed, in 2020, when they deployed all this currency into the market and added all this liquidity into the market and ran up inflation and reduced the buying power and purchasing power of your depreciating fiat currency that you call the US dollar, that's no longer tied to gold, no longer tied to oil, no longer on the Bretton Woods standard or agreement. When they did that, that wrecked people's financial outlook for the next 20 years. Imagine how it would feel to work for 50, 60 years, be 70 and 80, approaching, or maybe I'm just a year into retirement, and boom, the market crashes. By no fault of my own, now my retirement went from 100 grand that's making a little bit, maybe 400, 800 grand that's making a little bit, making enough so I can survive type, you know what I'm saying, situation. But now It ain't that. It's 200 grand. It's half of that. Yeah, you got to go back to work. You can't continue just to eat your seed like it's an $800,000 seed if it's only a $500,000 or if it's a $200,000 seed. Now I said this message was going to be for everybody. Some of these parts for children, some of these parts for adults, but children don't understand what adults understand. But when you're a child, you think like a child, and when you grow into a man or woman, you should think like one. It's fair that they should be a part of this conversation and get this understanding at a young age, because if they do, you can start them early. You can put them in position early, if in no other way than just with the information, so that they know what to do with the money when they get it. Right? A job is a great place to start, but a terrible place to end. Let your kids go get a job, but show them what to do with the money. Make them stay at that job for a year and stay on them about being disciplined and consistent about how they steward their income. And what they will see in a year is they're already able to do things that adults that have been adults for 18 years only fathom and dream of, because you gave them the game. Because you went and got the knowledge for yourself. Because you started them early. Because you didn't despise small beginnings. Because you gave yourself time to succeed. But it starts with you. And if you didn't come from a rich family, you didn't come from a wealthy family, you didn't come from a free family, you didn't come from a healthy family, it's your job to fix that shit. It's your job to break those chains, those bonds, those traumas. It's your job to break those generational curses and create new ones. So now I'll ask you, are you willing to accept that challenge? Because the reason why most people just go along and get along and deal with stuff that, you know, they know doesn't serve them or is beneath them, or they know that their creator made them better than the situation that they're in. The reason why people just go along and get along is because they're living in the world type situation. You know what I'm saying? The world tells you, nah, there isn't another way. The world tells you that this is the way to do it. But there's wealthy people around that didn't do it that way. They're just not as loud about the actual way to do it as the world is about telling you the way you should do it. Because if you do it the way the world says, the world wins. If you do it the way the wealthy says, you get wealthy. But a lot of wealthy people don't really deserve what they have spiritually. You feel what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people feel like there's a, well, no, you know what? I'm not going to say that because that's fucked up and it's not true. Because in order for you to get wealthy, wealth is a frequency, and you cannot get wealthy without attracting wealth, right? So these people do deserve what they have, but they also don't readily share it. Because a lot of times the systems, the ideals, the principles, the philosophies that allow people to become wealthy, they sound I don't know how they sound. It sounds good. It sounds good type shit. And what happens is people get information, wealthy information, and they want to share it with their friends and family and loved ones and people they know, like, and trust and want to see do well. And they get looked at like they crazy because the people know that they know, like, and trust know them. They know them for who they are, not who they're becoming. And they don't see or recognize that, so they kind of discount the information. They throw out the baby with the bathwater. You know what I'm saying? Instead of eating the meat and spitting out the bones, right? They miss the trees for the forest type shit. Or they miss the forest for the trees, excuse me. But it's only because they don't have your vision, because it's not their vision to have. They haven't put in the work to develop that clarity, so it stands to reason they don't have it yet. But that's why you being, holy shit. I started this about communication types and I didn't even get there. Look, I'm gonna do the communication types in another video because I don't want these to be too long. But it started, you don't have, I don't know what I was saying. But anyways, wealthy people get information and they start gathering the information. They start learning the information. They start implementing the information. They want to share the information. They share and they share, incessantly share. They drive friends and family away because friends and family don't understand or recognize the person you're growing into. And to them, it's annoying because they don't have that clarity. They don't have that kind of mission-driven goal, vision and desire for their life, so they can't understand it from you. It's not even a malicious or hateful thing. It's a lack of understanding thing. And this is where communication mastery comes into effect. This is where the power and potential of communication mastery comes into play, because when you can ask people and identify what it is that drives them, what motivates them, what inspires them, what are you moving towards, what's stopping you from getting there, now they've presented a problem to you and you can present a solution. And when you can do that, whether they're a winter personality and they're more financially driven, more fact-based, you know, sometimes they're more, you know, to themselves type shit. Those are winter personalities. You got spring personalities that love to help. They love to serve. They're bubbly. They're, you know what I'm saying? They want to be where you know what I'm saying, people are at. You know what I mean? They are the people persons, the people pleasers, the people servers. They are the attractors, the connectors, right? Winter type personalities are more money motivated. You got to get with them numbers, analytics. They're more technical. They got, you know, basic questions, but once you overcome that, everything else, you know what I'm saying, falls into place. They dream big, but they are guarded about what dreams they invest their attention and energy into, because they're so financially and money and numbers motivated and attached, right? You have summer personalities that are the party, you know what I'm saying? Wherever the party is at. You know how I said 3 things will change your life? The books you read, the people you hang around, and the events you attend. You want to get somebody to an event and they're a summer personality, just promote the event as a party. They're going to want to come. The energy is what? Energy. You know what I'm saying? Summer personalities vibe off energy. High energy, long days, you know what I'm saying? Warm days, water, sun, life, abundance, you know what I'm saying? Music, energy. The summers are the energy people, right? And then the falls are more, they're the more, fuck, I forgot what the falls are, excuse me. Damn it. You know what, drop a comment, come back for the next video and I'll do the fall, because we already getting too long in the video. And I give you the fall, and I'll give you a whole breakdown on the personality types, and how that all fits into communication mastery. But there's a reason why I'm doing all this. I'm starting to understand that there's a reason why I learned all of this, right? I've been in certain situations, organizations, part of institutions that have grown and failed, grown and fallen, or they're still growing and I left, you know what I'm saying? Because what they had going on no longer really served my mission. And for a long time, I didn't really understand what my mission was. I felt like I was just wanderingly, aimlessly through life. However, I did recognize that everything I was doing had a certain level of alignment or congruency or continuity. It was all still moving in the same direction, still industry attached, you know what I'm saying, adjacent type shit. And in every position, I was always attracted to the leadership positions, and whether I rose to the ranks and earned it, or, you know what I mean, whether I just aspired to be there, I just didn't think I could do it, right? So what I'm saying is, I've gone through a lot, been through a lot, learned a lot, seen a lot, experienced a lot, right? But all through that, I am a winter type personality. I'm kind of a mix between a winter and a summer, right? The dope thing is, people are typically a mix between the 4. There's just one that's more prominent, and that's the one typically you want to speak to. However, if you can identify the others and you can touch on those 2 as you're presenting your solution or as you're presenting an offer to them, it'll strengthen your offer, and increase the probability of a successful conversion, thus you getting paid, thus you profiting, thus successful outcome, right? But what I was saying is, I'm more of a winner person, so I'm real analytical. I like numbers and shit. I forgot why I'm telling y'all this, but just looking at the numbers and realizing systems and looking at, you know what I mean, my track record over time and how I've learned and how I've grown and how my perspective has changed and how it's come full circle. And I could see that every step I took was in the same direction. Some of them were large steps, some of them were leaps, some of them were small steps. Sometimes I was motherfucking crawling. but I was always moving forward. So I'm writing a book called Forward Always, and I kind of want to, express and convey the story of not my entire life. It'll be biographical in nature, but not a complete biography, right? Maybe just from actually, you know what it will be? It'll be a biography of my adult life, right? Because now I'm 37 years old. I've been an adult for 19 years. I'm an adult, right? I'm a young adult, but I'm an adult, as opposed to being a baby adult or an adolescent adult or a teenager adult. I'm an adult now, right? So I do have experiences to lean on and learn from, right? For a long time, I was sharing information and wisdom from shared experience that I got from books or, stories that I heard or lived through other people, right? But now I have my own experience. And for a long time as well, I felt like, how can I be E.T.? How can I speak like E.T.? How can I speak like Les Brown? How can I speak like Og Mandino or Jim Rohn? How can I speak like Haziq Ali? How can I speak like, I'm forgetting one, Ty Best? How can I speak like E.T., Les Brown, Ty Best, David Goggins? How can I speak like Myron Golden? But I'm coming to the realization that I don't have to speak like them. I don't have to be like them. I'm not them. I'm quite a bit different. We are similar. We do have alignment. There is an accompaniment and a complementary nature about our styles as far as we present information, but I need to be uniquely and genuinely and authentically me. And now I feel like I can do that. So I'm finna run shit the fuck up. Excuse my language. I put together a system, a solution, a process, basically an institution that will solve all of these problems from bottom all the way to the top, like Zero said. From kids learning what they need to know about money, finances, self-development, personal development, human nature, human psychology, right? All of these things can be taught to children. And when they understand them, when children understand human nature and human psychology better, bullying no longer becomes a problem. Depression no longer becomes a problem. When children understand these things and we can have open communication about them amongst the children and adolescents and adults, right? And the adults and the adolescents can share their experience with the children, and the elders can share their experience with the adults and the adolescents. Now we remove a lot of the problems, the mental instability and the mental health issues that society is dealing with can be solved just by building communities and environments that foster these kind of conversations, that create a safe place for these kind of conversations for men and women and children and elders alike. That's what's missing. And that's what Hero U is about. It's about mastery and human development. It is going to be something like a human development or human psychology laboratory, in the sense that we are studying human nature, but we're also studying how and why, what motivates, possesses, and inspires humans to transform from one state to a greater one, from wherever they are to where they really are supposed to and have been designed to be. When they're operating in that divine purpose and talent, when they're just operating in their gifts and it's just flowing abundantly and their cup runneth over because they know who they are, they know what they're worth, they know what they're doing, they know who they serve. When you can answer those questions for yourself, the little things in life no longer really annoy or distract you. So I want to help people identify the answers to these questions. Because when you don't have the answers to these questions, these are mental obstacles that you have yet to overcome on the journey that you've decided to embark on to your betterment. And HERO stands for helping everybody remove obstacles. But the first obstacles we have to remove are not physical ones. They're not financial ones. They're mental ones. They're psychological ones. The first obstacles we have to remove, I liken them to trees that have grown from seeds that were planted in your psyche from a child. Whatever traumas you went through, whatever bad habits you learned, whatever you saw that was negative, whatever you learned or went through that was negative, those were seeds that were planted in you. And if you didn't chop them down, if you didn't deal with them, if you didn't go through therapy or ask the right questions or have the right people around you to uproot these trees, by the time you're 18, 19, 25, 28, 30, 45, 50, these trees are big as shit. And we ain't talking about pine trees. We're talking about great sequoias. We're not talking about olive bushes. We're not talking about olive branches. We're talking about a forest, a wall of giant sequoias, or maybe like the Black Forest in Germany. Just a wall of trees. Imagine that kind of obstacle in your life. But it's mental. So Hero U, we're going to help you chop that forest down. And we're going to show you how to take that wood and repurpose it for a greater purpose. So you can build your own ark. So that when it floods, you can float. And you can take your family to wherever you want to go. And you can take them olive branches. And you can take them sequoia seeds. And you can take them beautiful deer babies. And you can take them little bird babies. And you could go to another land. And when the water subsides, y'all can live freely. Because you were prepared. Because you were a good steward, first of your mind, then of your resources, then of your time, then of your ability, and then of your leadership. People don't follow you unless you're influential. And in order for you to be influential, you have to grow a level of integrity and knowledge and discipline and consistency and implementation and all of that. And all of that takes time, which is why my mentor always used to tell me, sometimes, Larry, you got to slow down to speed up. You cannot despise small beginnings, and you absolutely have to give yourself time to succeed, because you cannot be 21 years old in 19 years. You can, however, do 100 years worth of work in 20 if you compress time, if you build teams, if you build relationships well, and you can communicate and convey your vision to people well. If people can buy into a vision that's bigger than themselves, but they see somehow how this big vision can encompass them and their goals and dreams, or how they can accompany or attribute some kind of gifts or talents or resources or help, they could be of service of creating and bringing into reality, making this dream a zenith, right? If you could create a dream big enough for yourself, your family, your community, your society, that when you share it with other people, they can see a spot in themselves for your dream with whatever they're doing. Or maybe they just decide that I don't have anything to offer right now, but I would like to. So I'm open to exploring the option of, or the idea of, how can I identify my gifts, my goals, my purposes, my value to add to this worthwhile cause. My mentor created an organization called Wealth Builders Worldwide, and he knew something back then, because I understand now that the reason why he added worldwide on the back of the name of the organization was because that's a funding play. If you have certain names in the name of your business, it makes you unfundable or risk to banking institutions. The fact that he created this institution years ago, when in order to have that information, you either had to be well studied or very well paid or very well connected or a combination of the three, lets me know that he knew something when he was putting this together. And the motto and the mission of Wealth Builders Worldwide is to supply or provide people worldwide with the tools and resources, knowledge and information they need to build the life of their dreams, right? To live the life of their dreams, to build wealth and to get free. Give them the tools they need to live the life of their dreams, to build wealth, to live the life of their dreams, get free, and build massive wealth. I kind of forgot, right? But the end of it is the part I can't forget. The end of it says, we are salespeople and we are a sales team, but we do not sell people on products, goods, or services. We sell people on the infinite possibilities of their dreams and the power of their lives. And we sell people on the infinite possibilities of their dreams and the power of their lives. We sell people on never giving up. And we do this because we know it to be a noble cause. This is the mission statement of my mentor and the organization that was founded that I came out of. And it's because of that culture, it's because of that language, it's because of that ideology, that philosophy, that those relationships that were built through that. That's not just an organization, that has become an institution. But it's because of my relationship with that institution years ago that I've grown into the person I am today. And I remember looking at Mr. Best. I remember being in motherfucking rooms. It's 200, 300, 400, 500,000 people in the room. And I'm late because I had to walk from a hotel that was not in the same complex as the hotel that the meeting was in. But I ain't had a bread to stay in this hotel. So I stayed down the street. And I might have had to take an Uber. I might have walked. My money might have been funny. My change might have been strange. My ends wasn't meeting at the time. But I made it across country to get to this event, to sit at the feet. I made it across the country multiple times to get to events, to sit at the feet of mentors and leaders and people that were doing what I wanted to do, even though at the time I felt like I wasn't capable. But I knew that if I get there and I sit there, I'll pick up more than, you know what I'm saying? I'll learn shit by osmosis, basically. Bro, people have pictures of me sitting on the floor of events where everybody's paid $400-$500 to have a chair and a table. And some people pay general admission, $20-$30. You know what I'm saying? Maybe $100 to get in the back of the room with just a chair. People used to be mad at me, bro, because I don't give a fuck how much y'all paid. I'm finna go sit on the floor right in front of the stage. Y'all not gonna hear this shit before me. I don't care how much you paid. I don't care who you know. I don't care what you've done. I don't care how much you have. Bitch, you don't want it better than me. Oh, shit. And I knew then I was a dog. I knew then I was different. I knew then something was going to be different. I just couldn't identify what. I knew then I had a purpose. I knew then I was going to build something. I just didn't know what. I remember even 2-3 years ago walking into another organization's national annual meeting in a big ass convention center, and it's like 10-15,000 people in the room, different colors, different teams of hundreds, teams of thousands, one team of thousands. And I walk in the room and I think to myself, whoa, I need to build something like this. How the fuck? How would I ever? Where would I start? What would I do? I figured it out now. Figured it out. Communication mastery is the beginning. Learning how to communicate with people, learning how to convey your message. For a long time, I wasn't communicating masterfully. So it's fair that people weren't understanding what the fuck I was saying, even though I felt like I was speaking plain English. It's been people around me since the beginning of my journey that I talk to sporadically, and yeah, people I see every day for real. And I sit down and have conversations with them now, understanding what I know now. The conversation goes a little different, and they're like, damn, it is that simple. You've been telling me it was simple all this fucking time, but I didn't get it. But it's because of how the information is presented now that it adheres to, you know, their spirit a little more. Like when you're taking vitamins, you got to make sure that you're taking vitamins that have a high absorption rate, because if your body doesn't absorb the vitamins, you don't get the nutrients you need. Therefore, you're really just taking a placebo. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting any benefit. You're just spending money and hoping and praying that you feel better. You actually end up feeling better more often than not because you think you feel better, which shows that belief is the beginning, right? Even in Christianity or religion, belief is the beginning. First, you must believe in or believe that or whatever. Belief is the beginning, but first you must believe. Peter walked on water like Jesus did until he didn't believe, until the ways of the world, the noise of the world, the media, the sounds, the distractions, the thoughts of unworthiness, until they were too heavy and he wasn't light enough to stand on that water, and that's why he sank. You know what? I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna leave y'all alone and shit. This is like the 4th video I recorded today. But the thing is, now I'm finna put these joints on YouTube, so I'm not gonna have to say this shit again. I'm not gonna have to hope. I'm not gonna have to hope that Facebook don't delete my video or some shit. Like, now this is my content. And what y'all are gonna get to see is the creation, the inception, the development, the growth, the scaling of an institution that's going to stand the test of time, that's going to stand for generations, and that's going to serve many more beyond that. Right? Even if by some chance the institution falls someday, the work we going to put in from this day forward is going to be undeniable. And the reason why, I've said in plenty of videos, and y'all going to hear more and more often, is Dr. Bay. Dr. Larry Wiggins Bay. And I'm not going to ask nobody's permission to be worthy of that title. I'm not going into debt to pay for that title. I'm not going to pay no institution to give me permission to be great. They're going to give it to me because I'm going to earn it. Because what I'm building, the value and impact that it's going to have on society is going to be undeniable. And if you can deny it, fuck whatever title you was going to give me anyway. I don't have to be anti-establishment anymore. I'm just going to build my own. I don't even want to compete with the establishment. Y'all can have that shit. But if anything I said sounds like valuable or resonates in your spirit, or you listening and you like, damn, this young man on something. Bro on something. Hell, even if you listening talking about shit, on something, because shit, I guess I'm damn near there now. I need help, fam. I can't do this by I fuck that. I definitely can do it by myself. If I have to, I could do it with AI. I don't think that would be the best use of the gear. I don't think that would be the best way to design the gift that this is supposed to be to society. AI is a tool we're supposed to use. It's not supposed to replace us. If I do this with and only with and through AI, I'm speeding up the learning curve that everybody is so afraid of, right? Everybody talking about they afraid of AI. AI is going to replace us. No, AI is not going to replace the people that learn to understand and implement their innate inherent value, right? AI is a tool. The hammer does not replace the architect. The jackhammer does not replace the construction worker. The calculator does not replace the mathematician. The telescope does not replace the astronomer. So don't be afraid of AI. Instead, look at it as a tool. Look at it as another tool that you can put in your tool belt of all the gifts that you possess innately because you were created by such a wonderful creator, right? And it don't matter what faith you come from, because faith is faith and you need to stand on that shit. But a handyman don't walk in your house with just one tool on their belt. They got a hammer. They got a couple, screwdrivers. They got a drill. They might have a square and compass if they a mason. You feel me? Professionals have tools, and real professionals have more than one. AI should be one of them tools that you keep in your bag, fam. Fear not. You know what I'm saying? Our people only perish for lack of knowledge. Why not just go get the knowledge? Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Knowledge is not powerful unless you implement it on a consistent, disciplined, diligent basis. But when you do that, It's the application of the knowledge that turns the knowledge from potential power to kinetic power, from potential energy to real energy. Kinetic energy is what moves things, what creates motion, what creates change, not potential. We have the potential innately as human beings, and it don't matter what your melatonin content and composition is. But if it's deeper and richer, you probably got a little more for real. But just the fact that your heart beating, because your heart is more of a fucking electrical system than a pump. Your brain operates more on electricity and frequency than anything. The blood is just the fuel, the hydraulic fluid that pumps through your body so that everything moves and operates, and you know what I'm saying? It's another medium to move that frequency so that everything communicates clearly, right? Your body communicates with different levels of your body, different frequencies and different environments differently based on different aspects, right? Your brain responds one way, your hairs on your arms stand up one way, your eyes respond one way to light and shit. So like we were wonderfully and greatly made. I think the scripture says wonderfully and fearfully made, but that don't really make sense, which is why I don't want to say that. But obviously I'm not a theologian and no shit like that. I've read it quite a few times. But damn, lost my train of thought. But you're supposed to be doing shit. You need a community. Greatness is calling. Please answer I'm not gonna beg you to answer the fucking phone. Don't be great. That's on you. The wages of sin is death. And sin is not living up to your God-given purpose, your divine talents and gifts. Sin is squandering those. And the wages of sin is death. And if we know that our people perish for lack of knowledge, and you need to get knowledge and you need to apply it so that it's powerful, and potential is not kinetic, and potential don't move shit or change shit, then come get this information, fam, so we could change some shit. So you can look in the mirror and you could be the change that you want to see in your future generations and in society as a whole. I think I kind of brought it all full circle, but probably not. But fuck it, I'm growing. Don't trip. He ain't through with me yet. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of it. But I love y'all. You're going to have to apply yourself to supply your wealth, because the only limitations you'll ever have are those you apply and accept in yourself. We, like me and mine, we going to see you at the top or from the top. Fuck. The choice is yours. You get to decide, though. You know what I'm saying? Dope thing is you got free will. I do and would like to urge, encourage, and implore that you consider that the bottom's crowded. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see all these neighborhoods and subdivisions being built. They not putting them shits on more land. The plots of land ain't getting bigger. The houses, shit. The houses ain't even getting bigger. The plots of land ain't getting bigger, and the houses ain't getting bigger, and the prices is going up. Like, if you don't do something, fam, you're going to be in a situation real soon where you're going to be renting everything and liking it type shit. Damn, I forgot how I got here. But you can do more for yourself, fam. And if you want to, you just don't know how, I would say the first step is get some books, start reading, start listening to audiobooks, start listening to YouTube videos. Hell, podcasts is awesome because they're entertaining as fuck, and you don't feel like you're learning, but you actually are learning by osmosis and absorbing valuable information, insights, and experiences from other people's lived experience. That does kind of become wisdom at a point, but it also helps shorten your learning curve as you move through your experiential process. You know what to do and what not to do, what mistakes not to make. So it kind of helps you go further, faster, with less effort. It increases the velocity of your progress, right? They say all the time that if you want to go fast, you go alone, but if you want to go far, you go together. But if you want to go far fast, you got to create something alone that's big enough for people to join you and want to do it with you together, and then you'll go fast together. That's how you add velocity to your transformation. Build a team. Be the tip of the spear. be the leader, get the information, develop the plan, have faith in yourself, trust yourself, and then, bring on board a couple people. Let them know you got a mission you're embarking on, and you want to know if they down to ride. You want to know if it's something they would like to, be a part of from the beginning, right? Let them know that, look, I'm going to make this happen one way or the other. I'm going to get this bag one way or the other. I'm going to accomplish this goal one way or the other. I'm going to buy this property one way or the other. I'm going to be a wealthy and financially free and break generational curses one way or the other. Would you like to help me, or are you going to stand on the sidelines and watch? Hell, better option. Would you like to do it with me? Does any of that sound like fun to you? Because if you're a summer personality, we can make a party about it. And you know what I'm saying? Hey, turn up. You hear me? Yeah, I think I'm done recording content for today. My fucking head hurts. And it's already fucking 4 o'clock somehow. And I got practice in a little while. I'm fucking tired. I need a nap. And some water. Bitch, I'm thirsty. All right, well, I love y'all. I'll see y'all later. I already said the ending, so I don't know what the fuck I'm still on here for. What I was saying, it's crowded at the bottom, not at the top. All these neighborhoods and shit. Smaller houses, smaller plots of land, costs more. It's getting more fucking crowded. Get to the top, fam, as fast as possible, and bring some people with you. It's not lonely at the top. Some asshole lied about that, and I don't know how they got promulgated into, contemporary media and shit, and why people think it's lonely at the top. No, it's not. Not if you're not an asshole. If you take people with you to the top, y'all gonna party in the penthouse. You feel me? You don't want to be in the penthouse by yourself, just by yourself, watching everybody. Then your ass gonna end up, damn, I wish I was broke and normal. I want to be normal looking ass type shit. That's what motherfucking stars be going through. That's why movie stars and athletes, they get a bag, they get bread, they get success, but they never really built or designed a vision or goal or plan for their lives, but beyond getting that contract and hitting the league. So once they get it, they kind of they wandering aimlessly through life. And if they haven't developed the discipline and shit, they go do dumb shit and put themselves in positions to jeopardize their contracts, jeopardize their income, jeopardize their finances or their financial freedom, whether it be by dumb financial decisions or just dumb lacking integrity or vision and clarity decisions. Undisciplined, immature, emotionally undeveloped, right? That's what Hero U is about, though. We want to solve those problems on the way to people acquiring the bag, right? You want to get a bag, but you got some obstacles to overcome. We going to help you overcome the obstacles, but we're also going to address the issues, the seeds that have been planted in your psyche as a child that have grown into a black forest. That's an obstacle that on the other side of that black forest is a beautiful, sprawling meadow of abundant life. All the wildflowers, all the milk and honey, all the animals, all the water, all the views. It's all there on the other side of your obstacles. So my goal is your growth. Let me help you, maneuver through the manure type situation. I'm going to help you move, groove, vibe, and slide on the way to where you want to be for real. But if you have to be willing to become the type of person that does the thing necessary to have the life that you desire. And if you can honestly say, let me say that one more time. If you can honestly say that you're willing to become the type of person that does the activity that creates the life that you desire, that's all I need from you right now. That's all I need. If you can make that promise and commitment to yourself that whoever your name is, I, so-and-so, am willing and committed to becoming the type of person that does the type of stuff that creates the life of my dreams that I desire, that I aspire to live and leave a legacy of to my children, because I understand that legacy is not what you leave, but what you leave in people. I want to do that. I swear and affirm that yes, that's for me. If you can say that, Come here. I got something for you. And it's everybody's favorite letter word. Well, I guess at this point, it's kind of like a 7-letter word. But 7's a great number, though. But it's freedom. It's freedom. And for right now, I ain't going to say it's free, because I'm not going to charge you no currency right now. I'm going to charge you commitment. I'm going to charge you discipline. And I'm going to charge you accountability. If you can make a commitment to yourself, be disciplined and diligent about your commitment, and you can accept accountability and constructive criticism, it may not be the softest all the time, but if you can do those things, I might be the coach for you. I know I'm not the coach for everybody, which is why I'm building an institution that's going to have more coaches than just me. You know what I mean? Other people that communicate with other communication styles, other experiences, other levels of wisdom, and all that shit, right? But yeah, I need help. I can do a lot by myself, but the founding class of people are going to be people that fuck with me because I'm me. But an institution has to grow beyond the charisma of its founder. I understand that already. I'm as far as developmentally, like, I'm already light years away, man. Light years away. Rest in peace, PMC. But yeah, I do know that in order for the institution to grow and scale, at some point, it can't all be dependent on my charisma, my vision, my clarity. I have to be able to impart that vision, that charisma, that clarity, that passion, that energy. I have to be able to impart that in others. And it's not until I got 100 people around me that feel the same way I do about Hero U that I'm going to go and ask for investors or investments. I don't need the money. I'm not doing it for the money. When I create 100 people that have seen this kind of transformation in their life, whether it's a year, 2, 3, 5, 10 years from now, and all of us are able to touch, $1 million in business credit, that's $100 million in business credit. 10 years from now, we'll be able to buy anything, and it won't take 10 years. Like, I really got the plan. Like, I know what's plaguing people. I know what's slowing people down. I know what obstacles they need to overcome. I understand how to communicate with people. I understand how to illustrate, demonstrate, break down abstract or complicated concepts into basic principles so that I can convey that thought and teach the principle to a child. Like, I'm good at that. And I'm not the only one. I'm good at that. There's a lot of people that are exceptional, and that's what I'm looking for. I need your help. So if you know somebody that's exceptional with that kind of stuff, if you know somebody that anything I've said makes sense to them, right? I know I believe, maybe it wasn't this video, but I do believe in an earlier video I said, stop, like, share, subscribe, send this to somebody you know, like, or love, or want to see do well, somebody that trusts you, respects you, somebody that you know is, a person full of integrity, you know what I'm saying? Somebody you would do business with, right? Stop and send this to them. But fuck me, I lost the thought again, goddammit. I guess that's why I'm doing this YouTube thing, or not even just YouTube content thing. Like, I'm gonna record this shit, and it's gonna be live, and y'all gonna get to watch. And I mean, really, at this point, it's the end of the video. Fuck, I've been on here 53 minutes. You get to decide. Do you want to be a part of what's being built? Or are you going to sit on the sidelines and watch? Or is there some way I can help you? I'm good either way, because I don't need spectators. I don't need anybody drawing on my attention and my energy. I'm really short on that shit anyway. My battery goes dead quick as fuck, and I need to figure out some way to implement some time in my schedule to sit down, shut the fuck up, and not do anything but look at the stars or some shit. But if anything I said resonates with you and you want to help, you see value in what we got going on, you see, maybe you got a vision for the mission, I would love your help. And I'm definitely open to having a conversation. I don't care how you want to participate. Do it or don't. Watch or don't. Just please don't get in the way. Because, yeah, right now it's an institution. But long term,
I already told you I got a 20, 50, 60-year plan. I plan on being here for another 80 years. Long term, this is going to be a exercise in civilization building and societal improvement. This is community revolution in progress. And as I build this shit day by day, as every day goes further and further, I will be more willing to do whatever necessary to protect it. And I only want people around me and involved that feel the same way. We don't have to advocate for, bad situations or harm or stress or chaos or any of that. But we will fucking be prepared. We ain't going out like Black Wall Street or Seneca Village or Rosewood or Oscarville. Bye. And you can't deport me like Garvey.